Hello, and welcome to the web tutorial for STEM class at AIM High. The objectives of this web tutorial are to learn the expectations of teaching STEM at AIM High, to understand how to navigate the curriculum on the Teacher Center, know what resources are available to STEM teachers, as well as get some tips on teaching STEM at AIM High. So first, for some high-level expectations of STEM, the first is that connection and community are our first priorities at AIM High. You will have curriculum that you will go through, but at any time, if you feel the need to really strengthen community, you should stop and focus on that. At the end of the summer, we are successful when our students feel seen and that they belong. Safety is also first, both physical and emotional safety. So please make sure that you have norms and lab rules that promote student safety up in your room. Also have a clear setup and cleanup process for your experiments. And it's summer. Students love going outside. Don't feel like you have to stay in your classroom or that the classroom has to be set up the same way all the time. Use the different spaces in and around your site. And probably the most important, again, there are lesson plans available to you. Please adjust those lessons and activities to your class, to your context and your community, and to fit student needs. There is no need, and it is not an expectation at all to use the lesson plans like a script. So we will now go to the Teacher Center to take a look at some of the resources and a little bit more about the curriculum at AIM High. So we are going to start at our curriculum page, and a reminder about the AIM High learning experience, and thought it would be great just to read this first part, especially right here. Students build a sense of agency and strengthen their ability to think critically and work collaboratively over 4 summers at AIM High. So that is one thing that we really intentionally built into our STEM curriculum, especially in ninth grade, really focusing on what can people do in their communities to make them better. I wanted to make sure that I started there. Okay, let's go back. And again, this content overview will give you the quickest information on what the scope and sequence is for each grade and each subject, and it will have a driving question, sort of what scientific inquiry will happen, as well as mathematical concepts, and the end product for each of the grades. So let's take a look at the STEM page. So all of our curriculum is based on project-based learning. And in our STEM classes, students utilize the design thinking process, scientific inquiry, and mathematical practices to address design and real-world challenges. And so again, we use project-based learning. And so what you will see in all of our projects are some kind of project launch, and then there will probably be a couple of benchmarks along the way, and so usually students are learning more about different concepts, and then slowly they will start practicing things, and then they're usually building and towards the end. And also after each benchmark is some sort of reflection, and this ends in a culminating event. There again, all of our projects have an end product, and there'll be the presentation during celebration day, as well as another reflection. And so you will see this in all of our curriculum. On the Teacher Center, on the science main page, you will find an overview, which is a written form of this web tutorial. You can also go straight to the content overview. We also have routines for success here, and they get linked a lot in especially your 6th and 7th grade curriculum, where sort of this is going back to our expectations around experiments. And so some tips for material setup, what to do at the beginning of class. We also have some discussion sentence frames, which you may end up putting on a big poster on your wall, and then some tips on project management. So that is available to you. And all of these things are Google Docs, so I suggest that anything that you want, you open and make a copy for yourself and for you and your teaching partner. Another piece, and you'll see these in all of our curriculum as well, are deeper learning success skills. And so to us, it's not just about learning content, it's also about building critical thinking skills and working collaboratively. So these are really great. They are indicators of whether or not students are, thinking critically. So if you want students to think about growth that they want to make over the summer in any of these areas, working collaboratively, communicating effectively, or you want to add these to your objectives, you can. And they are, there's usually around 3 to 5 of these success skills in our lessons. All right, and there will be a PDF copy of curriculum that you can print out because right now everything is accessible here, but if you wanted to print it out, you can get a PDF here to do that. So this is where you would access all of the curriculum for each grade. And so you'll see 6th grade, design and green building, 7th grade, apocalypse survival kit, 8th grade, roller coaster prototype, and 9th grade is the eco business. So we'll take a look at 6th grade, and it'll be a good example of what you'll find on each of these pages. There might be 1 or 2 differences between each of the grades, but for the most part, this is what you'll find. So we're on 6th grade, climate change. All of the pages will have materials guide for STEM teachers. And so this basically is broken down by week, and this is, each week or maybe on Friday before the week, you want to make sure that you have all of the materials ready, or that you have all the materials on site, when you are getting, so that just in case you need to buy a few or have somebody buy a few more things, but you just need to be able to locate them. And so unless otherwise noted, all of the materials that you'll see on here are provided in the STEM box. So you should ask your site director or instructional coach for the STEM box. It is a blue Tupperware box that has a lot of these items in them. And then there's also Aim High General Supplies. So almost all of these materials have been supplied. The ones with the asterisk, they will definitely be in the STEM box, and we ask that all of those materials are returned in the STEM box at the end of the summer. So we have some general materials, which I won't go into, and then so you'll see week 1. And I'll just take you through this, and then you'll know. And then if you want to get back to a lesson really quickly, you can here. So you should have at the site index cards, tape, gallery walk images, and then you'll see these in the asterisk. This means that, these should be in the blue Tupperware bin, big Tupperware bin, and that they need to go back there. So there'll be a clear plastic box and a heat lamp, because you will be using up things like pipettes and index cards. They are basically disposable, so we don't need those back. If you have extras, we'll take them, but we don't need the used ones back, and we won't be necessarily looking for them. So there's also a section that is not provided. So you're going to need hot water. And so all of your sites should have some sort of way to heat water. If not, you can bring a water kettle from home. And then this has different graphs that you will need to print out depending on where you are. And one note is that in all of your lessons, there are often handouts, so you'll need to print those out as well. So again, um, during faculty week, for instance, you should make sure that you go through the lessons and make sure that you have enough for groups and for your students in the next week. So plan ahead. All right. Many of the lessons will also have a project overview, and this will tell you the driving questions, a summary of the project, as well as um, the core academic, right? So it'll have next generation science standards. It'll also have some math standards in there, and then some of the deeper learning skills that will, really be a focus. So this is just a good place to start to, have a understanding of a high level understanding of the project. So we have that. Sample student letter. Again, this would be something that you would make a copy of. It's really nice sometimes to write a welcome to STEM class piece to your students, and then you can adapt it however you need to. And then also what we have, and this should look a little bit like that PBL map that I showed you earlier. So each of our science or STEM classes have a STEM PBL map. And so it'll talk about the project launch, the different benchmarks and reflections, and then the culminating experience. And again, you can click to a link of this and make a copy of it that you can edit if you want to, or just print out and have on your own here. And then this is mainly where you are going to get all of your curriculum. And so there is a calendar. And what you'll notice is that it is by track. And so track one, we need to fix that. It should say Oakland. So you can find your area and click there because you all have different start and stop times. So I'll go to track two because that's many of our sites are in track two. And again, this is something that you can, there's a link here and you can make a copy of this. It's a Google Sheets document. And so here you'll have driving questions for each week. And then all of the lessons, you can click here and you'll get a lesson. Again, you should make a copy of this and store it somewhere. And so all of them will have driving questions or a driving question. I think our 6th and 7th grade will have a goal, otherwise known as an objective. We also look at what success skills they will be practicing during that class, and then we have materials. So again, something that you will look at before, obviously, the class, and we have some worksheets and you can just take these and print those out. And then these gallery walk images should be in your STEM box, but if they aren't, you have them here. And then a lot of our curriculum have PowerPoint presentations, and these are optional. So if you like to teach from a projector, you can use these. Again, you can make a copy and edit them as much as possible as you need to. And then it'll talk about other materials that you need for this class. So, we do kind of a brief agenda up here, and this is true mostly of 6th and 7th grade. Another way you can see this is if you go over here. And this will link to the different parts of the class, but it'll give you a little bit of like how much time we think that it would take to do each of these things. And you're gonna have to make some decisions. So here there's a bunch of ranges of time. So, you would look through this and try to figure it out. you will learn after about a week, that some classes are faster or slower than others. So you will know that. And then you have um, the lesson and just activities, and it'll sometimes link to these presentations. But yeah, the whole lesson is written out for you. And again, you will probably take this and adapt it. The other piece that is here, and then we have some extension ideas. So if you have some classes that need, that want more challenges, we have some additional challenges here. Um, so what we have here is teacher moves. And so this is something that you would fill out when you're meeting with your teaching partner. So, all of these sections are reflected up here. And again, you can edit this as you need to. And so you think about who is leading, right? Who is the main person welcoming students? What is the other teacher doing? So you might have Sally is welcoming the students while Jorge is writing objectives on the board or something like that, right? And then you think about what the students are doing, or what is like an indicator of success at that time. So you can use this to plan out your whole your teacher moves during the class. We also this links back to the teaching and learning resources. So there'll be some slight variations on each of your lessons, but this is basically what it'll look like. And again, you access this by clicking any of these. What you'll also see are these flex days. When we get to track 3, there'll be more flex days. And so there's a couple of things that you can do here. These flex days are put here because we know that sometimes we have field trips, assemblies, sometimes our classes are taking longer than we need to, so we built this in so that you don't feel like you won't be able to get through all of the curriculum. And so for the most part, you will fill these with a field trip or something like that. But there are some optional extension lessons that you'll find on some of our lessons. And then these are from last year, there are these mini design challenges. And so you can even use these to fill up the time if you need to. But that is, most of our STEM curriculum. So please go to the Teacher Center and explore. Some things that you can do is definitely go to your grade level. So we'll check out, no, we were at 6th grade last time, so we'll check out 7th grade. So go to your grade level. What I usually do is plan backwards, look at, what is the end product here. So it looks like an apocalypse kit. So check that out and figure out, okay, what is it that our students need to learn in order to get here? And then, take a look at this calendar. You might look at what your site calendar looks like, and do you know that your students are going on a field trip on a certain day? So you might want to add that on. And then really start going through the lessons and plan together using the tool that is at the bottom of at each lesson. So if you have any questions, about the curriculum, how to access something, you can go to curriculum@aimhigh.org, and there will be more opportunities, to access people throughout the week. Thank you.